Long before the world had maps with all the countries we know today, two giant superpowers lived right next to each other, staring across the sparkling blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea, and they were about to start the biggest schoolyard fight in ancient history. On one side you had Rome, a city in Italy that was growing stronger every single day, with soldiers who were tough as nails and famous for marching perfectly on land. But on the other side was Carthage, a rich and glittering city in North Africa that ruled the ocean like a king, because they had the fastest, biggest, and scariest navy ships in the entire world. For a long time, these two giants stayed out of each other's way, but the trouble started because they both got greedy and looked at a beautiful island shaped like a triangle called Sicily, which was sitting right in the middle of them like a delicious slice of pizza that two hungry people want to grab at the same time. The Romans were nervous because Carthage was getting too close to their shores, and Carthage was jealous because Rome was getting too powerful. So in the year 264 BC, the spark lit the fire, and the First Punic War exploded. At first, it looked like Rome was going to lose badly because they had no idea how to fight on water, and their soldiers were getting seasick, while the Carthaginians were expert sailors who could ram their ships into enemy boats and sink them instantly. But the Romans were smart copycats who found a wrecked Carthaginian ship on a beach, took it apart to see how it was built, and built a whole fleet of their own in just a few months, adding a crazy secret weapon called a corvus, which was a giant wooden bridge with a spike on the end that they could drop onto enemy ships to turn a sea battle into a land battle where they were the masters. Rome won the first round and took Sicily, but this only made Carthage incredibly angry, leading to the rise of a legendary general named Hannibal, who hated Rome more than anything in the world. Hannibal came up with a plan so wild and impossible that nobody believed he would actually do it, which was to march his army not by sea, but all the way around through Spain and over the snowy, freezing, and dangerous mountains called the Alps. And he didn't just bring soldiers, he brought 37 massive war elephants with him to crush the Romans. It was a terrifying sight for the Roman soldiers to see giant beasts with tusks coming out of the mist, and for years Hannibal was unstoppable, tricking the Romans into traps and winning huge battles right in their own backyard, while the people of Rome panicked and screamed in fear that their city would be destroyed. However, the Romans refused to give up, and eventually a Roman hero named Scipio Africanus decided to stop chasing Hannibal in Italy and instead sailed straight to Africa to attack Carthage's home, forcing Hannibal to rush back to save his city. In a final dusty and loud battle called Zama, the Romans figured out how to scare the elephants with loud trumpets, causing the beasts to turn around and trample their own army, which led to Rome winning the Second Punic War. By the time the Third Punic War happened years later, it wasn't really a fight anymore, but a total destruction, where Rome decided that Carthage was too dangerous to exist, so they burned the city to the ground and took over the entire Mediterranean Sea, proving that they were now the undisputed masters of the world, all because they refused to share that triangle-shaped island so many years ago.